Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to our monthly hot stock panel for the month of February 2222. Wow, a lot of twos here. Hot stock panel, stocks to love. Why? It's the month of love. So we got some good stocks for you like we do for every hot stock panel. My name is Glenn Tompkins, senior instructor here at VectorVest on our YouTube channel. Glad to have you here. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation and where you're tuning in from. All right, and where you're tuning in from. And I like Chess Desk says, Glenn, make it rain. Well, I can try, but there's a little bit of red in the market today, so I don't know if I can, teetotally make it rain. As you can see, I'm still at home, but that's never going to stop me from doing what I got to do here on our YouTube channel. In the background, I have Joey, my producer. He's going to be here for this all-star cast, and I do say all-star cast today. I just put pressure on the other two people that are here with you today. One of them is a little bit more all-star than the other, so now I'm going to let them fight out which one is a little bit more all-star than the other. All right, so we're going to get to them in a minute. Some house cleaning just in case. If you're brand new to the channel, we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. If you like what we're giving you today, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like button. And of course, if you don't want to miss any of the content that we do here on the YouTube channel, don't forget to hit the bell icon. One of our presenters today will also invite you to a free webcast that takes what we do here in the hot stock panel in a little different direction to get a little bit more detailed. You're not going to want to miss that. So you want to make sure you stay around for that. You guys are going to have a treat to be invited to a free webcast next week that really dives into a lot more of what we do here on the hot stock panel. So for those of you who are brand new, what do we do on the hot stock panel? We give you hot stocks to consider. Does that mean that every stock that we talk about, you have to go out and buy? No. But we're going to talk to you about the stocks that we're going to offer to you. We're going to tell you why we like them. And then, of course, the biggest thing is we're going to let you know when it's the right time to get in. And even more important than that, when it's the right time to take your profits off the table and get out. So these are stocks that we're looking at that we want to give over to you. And every month, we give some really good stocks. Also, let me know in the chat, how many of you have made some good money off of some of our stock picks? Type a 1 in the room if you've made some good money off of our stock picks. And if you don't care and you didn't make no money, type a 2. All right, type of 2. That's probably a horrible 2, but type of 2 nonetheless. If you've made some money off of some of the hot picks that we've offered to you every month or just once, type a 1 in the room to let me know. But that's what this is all about, and it's interaction. So we will be paying attention to the chat. We shall. All right. So I'm going to start us off, and Joey, get me into the list of stocks. All right, get me into the list of stocks. And as I look at these stocks for you, my other two people, and they will introduce and tell you more about themselves, is Jerry D'Ambrosio and Patrick France. When I told you that it's an all-star cast, I wasn't just whistling Dixie. I've got two great presenters here today to give you their picks. But overall, here's our watch list of the 7 stocks. As you see them on the screen, it's all 3 of us. Again, they really are good, and I'm glad to have them here. We can bring a lot of energy here. So here's the 7 stocks altogether that we have. And you know me, I'm all about the low-lying fruit. Starting to talk about fruit, Apple. Apple is one of my picks, as well as United Health Group. So it's interesting when we talk about stocks to love. There's a difference between loving a stock and falling in love with a stock. Because once you fall in love with a stock, you never want to give it up. But sometimes the market will let you know when it's the right time to get out of a stock, even though you love it. So these are stocks to love, but always remember, never fall in love with a stock. And if everybody knows me, You all know that if any opportunity I get to talk about Apple, I'm going to talk about Apple. Just for transparency, I still do own Apple as one of my core positions. Recently, with earnings, they pay a dividend. The whole 9 yard, Apple is just a staple in the world of tech stocks. It's one of the best stocks in the tech stock realm, and I will never not love Apple. But there are times when I'm not in Apple because I'm not in love with Apple. So as I look at these 7 stocks, the 2 stocks that I picked, again, Apple and UNH, are at the top of this list, sorted by our master indicator, VST. VST stands for value, safety, and timing, and it is the stocks that have the best combination at the top of the list, sorted all the way down. Now, just because their stocks are at the bottom of the list doesn't make them bad, and they're going to talk a lot about why they like the stocks that they do. But by that whole VST standing, it puts them on equal playing field to give you a better representation of how good or bad or indifferent stocks may be. We're going to start off with value. Every stock in our database has a value, an intrinsic value of what we feel the stock is currently worth. And when I look at Apple trading at 174 with a value of 130, it tells me that the stock is overvalued. That doesn't make Apple a bad stock. Our mantra is to be in safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price in a rising market. Apple is showing that it is overvalued, but that means that people are willing to pay a premium to own it. Our other indicators, relative value, relative safety, relative timing, VST, and CI, are all core proprietary indicators germane to just the VectorVest system, okay? So in these indicators, relative value looks at a stock's long-term upside potential. Relative safety is an indicator of risk. It looks at the company's consistency and persistence in earning in their earnings perspective. Do they make money quarter over quarter, year after year? Okay. Relative timing is our technical indicator. Is the stock going up or down in price? CI happens to be another technical indicator. It looks at price growth persistence, the stock's ability and price to keep going up. High CI stocks go up more than they go down. So just with the core indicators that you see here, you have a better understanding of the quality of stock before you even look at the company, look at the earnings, look at the news, any of that stuff. The indicators in and of themselves give you a good picture. So it's got good upside potential at 1.39. It's a safe stock and consistently meets or exceeds its earnings expectations. It is in an uptrend, and it goes up more than it goes down, and it's a buy recommendation. Good earnings per share. They grow their earnings at a clip of 24% a year. All great things about Apple, which gives you an understanding of why it's a stock you would want to love. United Health Group, trading at 479 with a value of 449, slightly overvalued. Again, people are willing to pay a premium to own it. Upside potential. You know, when I look at that value of 1.31 or 1.39, both of these stocks should outperform a AAA corporate bond by 31% and 39%, respectively. These are stocks that should have good upside potential, and that's important when you're looking for a stock to love. Relative safety. Actually, United Healthcare is actually safer than Apple. It's got a higher relative safety factor. That means, again, this company meets or exceeds its earnings expectation quarter over quarter, year over year. The stock is in an uptrend, but Apple is in a bigger uptrend. Nonetheless, this is the analysis. Folks, we do the work, you reap the rewards when you're looking at any stock. And that's why we're here to exploit that and show you what this is all about. Both of these stocks are buy recommendations. Earnings per share on United Health at $21, and they grow it at a clip of 14%. There's nothing not to love about these stocks. So let's take it a step further. Let's right click. After they've been highlighted, let's view the stock graph. Remember, a graph is a picture. It's worth 1,000 words. Let's go put this, Joey. I cannot do it. Put this on a 6-month graph for me. All right. So if these are stocks to love, actually put it on a 1-year graph. All right. Let's put it on a 1-year graph, and I am going to change the graph layout. Go down, 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 down. I got a hot stock panel one. I forgot I had one. There we go. We'll use the hot stock panel one. UNH on a 1-year look back period. Why do I love it? Bottom left, top right. for a longer term perspective, I'm looking at a 20-day exponential moving average. General rule of thumb, looking at a moving average. When price is above it, that's a good time to be in it. When it's below it, that's a good time to be out of it. That's a big 30,000 foot view of looking at the stock graph. And what I do like right now, that even when the market pulled back the way that it did, Apple felt the effect. This is why I'm not in love with Apple. There are times to be out of it, no matter, oh, this is UNH, sorry. Same reason why I'm not in love with UNH, even though it looks good. There's times this is a good stock, but when it's not time to be in it, that's where the not being in love is all about. Recently, went back above the 20-day exponential moving average. Volume is leveling out. Love the earnings per share, even though it's starting to level out as well. And I like the earnings growth, steadily moving higher, and that's where we stand. UNH, healthcare, COVID, all of that. This is a leader within its industry. And I think that it's a good pick from that perspective. I'm going to show you something. Why do I know it's a leader in that industry? If I right click on the stock and go to view the stocks in the industry, let's go with, I'll try one more time. Go view the stocks in the business sector. All right. Out of all of the stocks in that sector, all right, there's 544. I can see UNH is amongst the leaders in that sector. Are there better ones by way of VST? Absolutely. But I did pick out one that was amongst the leaders out of 544 stocks. So that's how come I know it's a leader in its industry. Let's go back to the graph real quick. View the stock graph. Joey, put me back on a 1-year graph again. And that's what I like about it. I do like bottom left, top right. Here we go. Bottom left, top right. I like that most recently. It's gone above the 20-day exponential moving average. I like the earnings. I like the earnings growth, and I like that it is a leader within its industry. I turn it over now to Patrick to give his insight on it, and then over to Jerry before I get to my next stop.
Yeah, so I like what I see so far. I definitely want to see it break past the high of that gap down candle a few weeks ago. You can see some short-term temporary resistance right around that level, but if we can get back above that point, then yeah, I'd definitely expect to see it take out that previous high. But I like the earnings, and I think, as we talked about in our mobile coaching session right before the beginning of the year, I think earnings are going to be a lot more important this time around this year rather than what we've seen over the last few years. So, yeah, I like the pick.
I agree with the earnings picture. Yep. Jerry?
Yeah, I like it as well. It's above, if you're looking at different technical indicators, right? 20-day moving average, it's above that. I looked on my chart, it just crossed above the 50-day moving average today. Almost a failed head and shoulders pattern as well. Left shoulder, the high was the head, right shoulder was just recently, and we're breaking above kind of the most recent action kind of point right there with the most recent high. So good pick, moving in the right direction, good earnings. I like it.
Excellent. All right. So my second pick, of course, Apple. And I did the same thing. I went to Apple, right-clicked, viewed all of the stocks in that sector. All right. And, for stocks to love, I wanted to bring to the table good stocks. How about the top 3 out of 106 stocks? The top 3. So Dell and Hewlett-Packard are also in there. But you can't beat that it is a leader in its sector. Apple is. All right. Now, let's close that. Let's right-click. Let's go view the stock graph. Joey, when you get a chance, put me on a 1-year graph. Now, there is something that does catch my attention in looking at this. Bottom left, top right, a whole bunch of stuff going on back here. I'm not even going to mess with it. Most recently, again, Apple, just like UNH, fell below that level of the 20-day exponential moving average. That was a good opportunity to take profits off the table or mitigate loss. Looks like it found a JD. That's a little bit of a hammer right there, isn't it?
It is.
All right. Good opportunity at a hammer at a level of support. Now recently coming back above the 20-day exponential moving average. A failed little gap. Well, it gapped down, faded, it came back down. I would still like to see it take out the high, but I'm okay as long as the stock's price is going up, jumping on board with it now because it is above the 20-day exponential moving average. More confirmation would be breaking through the high. Now, this is what caught my attention. Love the earnings per share. I love that earnings growth is higher than it was a year ago, but it is pulling back a little bit. That catches my attention just a little bit. But overall, it's a stock that is a leader within its sector. Bottom left, top right, moving up, recently going above. Volume has been right on board with it. Even when it fell, the conviction behind people selling it was there. Now that it's rising up, I'd like to see the volume pop up with it as well because volume is conviction. But I like, not only did it gap up recently, it gapped up through the 20-day and is pulling back away. I'm okay with getting into it now as long as it's an up day because it's now broken above the 20-day. If you're looking for more confirmation, I'd like to see it take out the 1-year high. But the earnings story, the volume story, still keeps me on board with it as well. Patrick, talk to me.
Yeah, so this was actually one that I looked at before today when trying to find some stocks to put in here. I like the play. Only thing that I see is on a temporary basis, on a short-term standpoint, you do have some resistance from that last little pop that you saw, right about where it's at right now. Also, if you add on stochastics, I think it was oversold or overbought already, and I know we can stay in overbought territory for quite some time, but at the same time, you want to make sure that we can get out of this weak level of resistance that we're currently at, and that stochastic stays in that overbought territory. If it starts slowing down, seems to be taking a breather over the last day or two. So I need to see confirmation that it can continue to move before, really seeing a good opportunity to say, okay, now it's time to jump on board. And the fact that, Apple, I believe, was still overvalued even after the sell-off we've seen brings a little bit of concern as well.
JD?
Yeah, I like it too. I mean, as long as the market keeps going up. So I know that Glenn said earlier, there's a little bit of red in the market today, and somebody questioned that. All the major indices are actually up. The VVC is down a little bit. The three of us looked at the advanced decline. If you guys have real time, you can see go from the homepage or the dashboard and see what the advanced decline looks like. There are actually more stocks going down today than are going up. So that's what Glenn talked about when he said a little bit of red today, even though the major indices are higher. Nevertheless, if the market keeps going up, Apple is a good pick. It's rising from a bottom. If I can request control real quick and pull this line down a little bit, this is really where I would kind of look at in terms of support. That's the most a recent swing high way back there. The price ran above it, retested it for a couple of days. You guys can see that red candle, rallied for a while, and then just recently retested that support zone again. We are pretty much at resistance. Look, another up day tomorrow in the market and an up day with Apple, that's the time to buy. A few questions were coming in about, you're talking about good stocks, but you fall short of telling us when to buy. Well, that's not really what we're doing. We're kind of analyzing the stock. Glenn is talking about a rising stochastics and a rising RT above 1 and a buy rated stock and good earnings and a rising market.
Right.
We are doing everything, guys, but telling you go out and buy Apple tomorrow. That's not our job.
Absolutely.
We're doing everything that we can do to lead you in the right direction. Rising earnings, rising stochastics, rising RT, buy rating, breaking out through resistance right now would be the next kind of bullish indication. You take that and what do you say? You say, this is a good time to buy. So to answer that question or comment about when we're going, not telling you guys to buy, don't expect that. We're doing a nice job of analyzing the stock and giving you some situations where you might want to consider buying. And a break above resistance is kind of the one right now.
Do me a favor, JD. You got control. Close out of the graph. and go to the homepage before we move this over to Patrick, because Sophia, if you want to know all about knowing when to buy, look at the system. Look at the system. We offer that information to you on a daily basis. We give you guidance. What does the guidance say up at the top, Jerry?
It says use caution when buying.
There you go. Sophia, this is not about the whole idea of when to buy. This is about hot stocks for you to take advantage of. If you want that guidance, we give that to you every freaking day. Not every single day. Every freaking day, we give you guidance on if it's the right time to buy. Jerry's looking at that color guard. What do you see? A lot of yellow. What else do you see? Primary wave is up. What does that tell you? I got a yellow light. I'm not telling you to go out and buy stocks. And just as I mentioned in the beginning, these stocks that I'm showing you, that we're showing you, are not telling you to just go out and buy them tomorrow. But we are telling you why we like them, and we're giving you guidance as to what to look for. Notice that both Patrick and Jerry gave value-added information on when they would buy it compared to when I would buy it. That's what this is all about. So you want to know when to buy? 99 cents gets you that. Ta-da! All right, that's it in a nutshell. 99 cents gets you that. www.vectorvest.com/YT, and we will give that to you every single day. Because everybody was like, answer his question, answer his question. You want your question answered? It's answered. We give it to you. Back up off of that. Take me back to the list. And Patrick, it's on you, bro. Tell them who you are and what you do.
Appreciate it, Glenn.
Can I get an amen before you start?
Amen, and make sure to check your blood pressure real quick. All right, so welcome everybody. My name is Patrick France. I'm a senior instructor here at VectorVest. Been here for over 11 years now. Every single Thursday, I host a live coaching session about the VectorVest Stock Advisory, talk about trading tips, techniques, any new features coming out. So if you're on the go a lot, if you're not, around a computer all day long, come hang out on Thursdays at 11 a.m. as we show you how to use or get the most out of the VectorVest Stock Advisory app so you can make those informed decisions from wherever you're at. On that note, I also do a lot of content here on our YouTube page. So once again, if you guys aren't familiar with it, if this is your first time here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that way you can see every time we have new content for you. We have new content pretty much coming out daily. So if you want to learn more about the markets, there's no better way than that. With that, I've got a couple of stocks here today that we're going to take a look at. My first one is going to be Microsoft MSFT, and I think I got control. There we go. So we're just going to run through the analysis real quick on Microsoft and work our way from left to right, and then we'll talk about the second stock, and then as always, we'll take a look at the graph as well. So with Microsoft, as we can see right now, the stock is currently overvalued, which definitely brings a little bit cause for concern. Our mantra here at VectorVest is to buy safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price in a rising market. Well, market's starting to show signs that it's starting to rise again, but we're still a little hesitant based off all the yellow we're seeing. This is an overvalued stock, so just know that if you do enter into Microsoft, you are paying a premium still, even after the pullback that we've seen throughout the market. But it's not really the make or break decision. It's more of a cautionary sign, just telling you to be aware that you are paying a premium on that stock at this point. So yeah, we are a little overvalued with it. But moving into the actual indicators here, the RV, RS, RT, VSTs, and so on. So the RV stands for relative value. Once again, the long-term potential of the stock. This one clearly has good long-term potential over the next 1 to 3 years when compared to a AAA corporate bond. Then the main focus, as I mentioned briefly a moment ago, is looking at relative safety, or RS. So during our mobile coaching session at the end of the year, getting our stocking stuffers ready for 2022, one of the key focuses that we talked about was safety, or strong, fundamentally sound companies. Well, RS really tells us what stocks those are and what stocks aren't like that. And so any stock that I'm going to be looking at here has to have an RS greater than 1. That way, the company is making money. They're expected to continue to make money 12 months down the road. They have a proven track record. So that's really where my main focus was with a lot of the picks here, or my 2 picks here today. So Microsoft has a really strong RS, which is one of the favorable things about it. Also looking at the RT, it is currently just slightly below that level of 1. Above 1, it was a little bit above 1 earlier this morning after some positive news. I'd like to see that continue to pick up, and we'll talk about from a technical standpoint where you could see some good entries or good opportunities to enter in. But I want to see RT get above that level of 1, and my personal preference is seeing it at 1.1 or higher. Anything in between 1 to 1.1, in my opinion, is really just moving sideways or treading water. And at that point, you could be losing out on other opportunities rather than necessarily losing out on capital from the actual position. So I definitely want to see that pick up. But after the big sell-off we've seen in the market, no surprise we're going to see a lot of these stocks having that weak RT currently. So overall, though, the company is favorable. The VST is greater than 1, telling us this stock is a sound stock on both a fundamental and a technical basis. And as Glenn talked about earlier, CI, the comfort index, that stock's ability to withstand severe lengthy price declines. 1.37 being above 1 tells us this stock has that good potential we're looking for. So that's going to be my first stock. The second stock is going to be one that we actually found. I entered into a position a few years ago into the Jockey Club, and that is going to be Generac. If you're not familiar with it, they do battery control systems. They do battery store or power or electricity storage. I'm seeing more and more advertising out on social media, out just on the internet in general. So their name is becoming bigger and bigger here. And I like this stock when we first found it at 80. This stock, after the sell-off, is now undervalued, which I definitely like since its value is currently around 300, trading at 281. Has great long-term potential with the RV. The stock has solid fundamentals with the RS. The RT is grossly below 1. 0.5, it's in a pretty strong downtrend, which we'll see in the chart here in a little bit. But I looked at it as this is a pretty solid, fundamentally sound company that's been really beaten up over this most recent sell-off. So this could be a great opportunity to enter in and get a discount on the stock here. Also, looking at the GRT, or that forecasted earnings growth rate over the next 1 to 3 years, at 30% per year over the next 1 to 3 years, that's pretty strong forecasted growth. So I like seeing that. Really strong fundamentals. Just need to see that timing pick back up. So this could be more of that bottom fishing opportunity on a really fundamentally sound company. So we'll go ahead, just highlight these here and jump right into the graphs. Go. Starting off on a 1 year, I'll change my layout since I already have that set up. Just got to find it. Go. Very bottom. That's fine with me. All right, so Generac, as we saw, this stock was passing that $500 mark right before the beginning of this downturn and came all the way down 50% to that 250 mark. So you can see it's given up a lot of the that stock price that we've seen over the last few years. And that's why, after such a great run that this stock has had, this could be a good opportunity because now the stock is finally undervalued, so you're not paying more than you need to. Stock, once again, has really good fundamentals. You look at the earnings per share, nice steady rise from bottom left to upper right. And also on a short-term basis, we look here, let's go to a 3-month real fast. You can see the MACD, or the moving average convergence divergence, just turned positive 2 days ago off of that bounce of that support floor right at 250. Now, if we zoom back out to a 1 year, I did have support resistance on here. What I'm looking for anybody, looking for more of a technical entry, what I'd like to see is you can notice it bounced off that 250 support level, came right up to this next level of resistance right around 287, and we're stalling out at this point. Well, markets have been a little weak today, just capitulating right around that 287 resistance. But if we can start to see, markets rallying in the latter half of the session, like we've noticed the last few weeks, or if we see, just a sideways move today and then a blast off or a breakout come tomorrow or over the next couple of days, that would be a great opportunity. Or maybe you're more conservative, more prudent. Instead of waiting for that official breakout, wait for the breakout and wait for the confirmation that next day. So if it, breaks out of that resistance, wait to see if it pulls back to retest and then bounces off as an entry, or breaks through and gets another update right after. Once you break through that, the next level of, some sideways or some headwinds you can see is 340. But then after that, you're pretty much smooth sailing back up to those highs. So I like what we see from a technical basis on a short-term standpoint because we are so oversold. The stock has had a pretty big sell-off. Company has good fundamentals, so this could be a good opportunity to pick up, a strong RS stock at a pretty good discount. So, Jerry, Glenn, thoughts?
I'll go. Interesting as I look at this stock, I see the last time it was oversold, it ran sideways before it went down some more. And I think that's a lot of it about what was going on in the market with the inflation and the interest rates and all that stuff. I think that's what kept this stock from running. I think the only way, this is just my opinion, this stock runs is if the market runs. I like the bounce off of support. I like the technical stuff. But if I'm looking at, and I don't have, go to the last level where it was oversold. No, oversold
in what indicator? I don't have.
By way of the MACD, or where it was at that most recent bottom before it is right now.
Like right here?
Nope.
Right here?
Yeah. And right there was, it was beaten down and it was like, okay, we can go. It turned positive, but as it turned positive, the stock went sideways. But again, I will attribute that to what was going on in the market with all of the rampant fears about what the Feds was going to do. And the market overall got smoked during that time.
Yep.
Now, the thing about what I do like about this right now is that we're in cold season. This is an opportunity for generators. So, as we get more nor'easters, this stock has got potential. Earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher. Even with all of this push to the downside, they're making money. And that's a great thing. So I'm with you on, from a technical perspective, that MACD, I'm just not sure that it's like, woo, because, well, actually maybe, because the most recent move to the upside, the stock's price responded. The last time it was like that, the price didn't respond. So this could be a good sign for it from that technical indicator. Volume is pretty steady. The stock's got potential. I mean, from where it is now to that high, the stock's got great potential. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think that it's going to be a lot entailed in how cold the winter season is going to be that will drive this stock higher or not.
I'm trying to refresh it to a 5-year graph. It's taken a second.
Now, again, I think overall the stock is a good stock and has been. I'm just looking at it right now. I think it needs a cold season to really take off. Really, really take off. Again, but that's my opinion, bro. That's strictly my opinion.
And while Patrick is there, I think you need to start, and it's an important point everybody's making, is you need to start with how is the stock a good quality or not? Because it's clearly in a very severe downtrend for the last 3 or 4 months. This is a bottom fishing play. This is not a trend play, right? There is no uptrend here. Patrick changed it to a 5-day chart. A 5-year chart, which gives us weekly data. If you're looking at this and saying, I really like the upside, right? It's undervalued. The RV is good, is above 1. You feel like you're getting a bargain here because of where price was recently. But you look at a daily chart and you say, this is just a little too early for me. If you like the upside and feel like it might be a good intermediate to longer term play soon, like Glenn said, depending on the market, kind of really want the market to go up, then switch it to a weekly chart. And I'm going to request control here because I want to zoom in a little closer.
Go for it. But one of the things I wanted to point out is this is the biggest pullback we've seen on this stock. So,
That's
if
true.
you felt like you missed out on this, earlier on because it rarely ever pulled back that much, that's why I wanted to
could be a
make it
good
one of
buying opportunity from that perspective too. This
Exactly.
is the most severe downturn on the stock.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a safer entry or a more reliable kind of entry, you might put on a weekly chart and you say, I see maybe a little reversal signal here on a weekly chart. I'm going to give it another week or two and see if price reacts kind of off of this weekly support zone, right? If you say, I'm okay with getting a little early, what does the daily chart show me? The daily chart also shows me a retracement off of support and a hesitation currently at resistance. You're also seeing a possible downtrend break here. So if I just draw an extended line.
And that's another positive sign.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Draw an extended line connecting these lower highs, right? Because we're not in an uptrend anymore. This is clearly a downtrend. So how do you draw a downtrend line? You connect
the highs.
You connect the lower highs, right? And you can see I'm trying to do my best in connecting as many data points as I can. We're kind of seeing the emergence of a downtrend break over the last couple of days. That, with being at resistance, I would look for a breakout above this resistance as a buy point. You can also, if I zoom in, you guys want an exact buy point, I can give that to you because of where price is. So what do I look for? I look for a break above this line. Well, where would that be? That would be above yesterday's high. So a break above 289.60. Does that say 289.60?
Yep.
I can't read that.
289.60.
289.60.
290 would be a good
whatever.
buy.
It's close.
Yeah, would be a good buy point here. Price breaks out above resistance, goes above yesterday's high, downtrend broken, good buy point. No, it's not going to have a buy rating yet because it's not in a strong trend. It's more of a bottom fishing play. So get that. Make sure you understand the difference between a trending stock, right? A trending stock that is rising in price with a buy rating. That's a different trade, right? As opposed to a reversal play here, kind of getting in early off of a bottom. Hopefully, I mean that's the risk that you take. You want to play these bottoms. This is how you do it, and you look for these things. It's going to have a sell rating. Where's our stop price here? Quick. What is it going to take for the stock to get a hold rating? Price volume.
You gotta go to price.
Yeah.
How long you been with us?
Oh.
307. So it's got a little bit of ground to climb before it gets back up there.
It's got a little bit of ground to climb, halfway between this resistance level and the next resistance level, roughly, right? If price breaks above the stop price, then it'll have a hold rating, right? So it's hard to tell exactly when that's going to happen because that stop price is going to keep moving, but you want to wait for a hold rating. That's a later signal. You want to wait for the stock to get a buy rating. Well, you're going to wait a little longer. You're going to be well off of the bottom. You're going to be in the trending phase, but you answer that question. You answer, how early do I want to get in and how fast of signals do I want to take before taking the trade? So I love this if it breaks above that 290 level with a profit target at the next resistance level there.
I think that with a really strong bad winter, this stock takes off.
And one of the other things about it, from being more of an aggressive trader like myself, since it hasn't broken through that level of resistance, that 287 level we've been talking about, if let's say you try to jump in early, you try to, predict what's going to happen. And if you're wrong, you have your line in the sand at that support right at that 250 range. So, $30 on a $280 stock, percentage-wise, isn't that much. It's very, within 10%. Most people's comfort range. So that's where that's another reason why I liked it is not only, if you got a good bottom fishing opportunity here, but if it fails and you get in early and it pulls back, you have a line in the sand to know when to just say, all right, I'm out and wait for a better opportunity to jump back in.
Marie, I probably wouldn't do a straddle. I think Patrick is pointing out that it's more of possibly of a bullish play than a bearish play. Or
it could be bearish if it falls down below support again.
yeah,
So
I
somebody
don't know
said,
if I would put a straddle on it. Yeah, I would be more.
no, I mean, I don't think I would
Yeah,
either.
I'd
But
be more in tune to buy a call or play the stock, one of the two.
Yep, because
That's
right now IV is probably going to be low. So I mean,
it's be cheap for you to buy the call.
Yeah,
yeah,
not really where you want to sell with a low IV. So, all right. So that was my first one, Generac. I'll stay on here and just go to the next one. Jerry has the mouse.
I got to. Yeah, but okay. There you go.
Oh my gosh! Stop fighting over the mouse.
There we go. Microsoft being my second one. So obviously, big name. They've had a lot of news about some deals coming out recently. They're buying up game developers. Microsoft has a lot of stuff in the works for their online digital online digital marketplace. They've got a lot of strong partnerships. Looking at the earnings, obviously, we can see bottom left to upper right. So really strong fundamentals. I think it was one of the top 3 highest RS stocks in the whole list so far for the day. But one of the things I liked about it from a short-term perspective as well, one, it has sold off a bit, so you're paying less of a premium than you were, just a couple of months ago. But you came down, nailed that exact support floor at 278, basically creating a double bottom. We zoom out, let's say 6 month. You basically have a double bottom here, really strong positive signs showing a lot of buying pressure coming in that day. It's reacted favorably, starting to move higher. And then next level resistance, 317. And then after that, you're going back to the highs. So fundamentally sound company. MACD just turning positive over the last few days as well. A lot of, really strong positive signs from support resistance. And, let's say you did take a position at this point, you're using that caution. Some people will, some people won't. You have a line of sand from that most recent support floor at 305. And then you have some areas to pay closer attention to it at 317. So with all the news, with all the deals coming out, the Microsoft's clearly making money. Doesn't seem to be going anywhere for a while. The world still runs on Microsoft systems for the most part. It's kind of hard to bet against that here, if you will.
Microsoft is a company that ain't going away. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're buying up companies. I think that they're going to play a major role in the metaverse. I'm a big fan of that. I know it's a lot of ways out before we get fully ensconced. Yes, Jerry, write that down. That is the word of the day. Ensconced. Before we get really ensconced in the whole metaverse. But there's only one thing that catches my attention. Even with the news that they bought up a company, watch the stock's price go up, watch volume fall. That's the only thing that catches my attention. That at least just makes me go, the song, things that make you go, that's what's making me just go, right now. Again, it's a powerful company. You look at that in its sector, it's one of the leaders. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Love the earnings. Love that the MACD just crossed. Volume is conviction, though. That's the only thing in looking at this stock that catches my attention. Now, I'd love to see it break above that level of resistance, get to the next level. Again, Microsoft is not a company that's going away, and technically, it's turning around. I want to see the volume move with it. That's my insight on that.
Yep, and just real quick, that would be my buy point as well. Rising volume and a break above this 380.
I don't know how
318 resistance zone, which is only about $6 away from where the stock price is at now. 318. That would be my buy point, a break above that. Just real simple on good volume, and I'll leave it at that.
And so that's the thing is, volume's been lightening up a little bit since that low, but you look at that volume compared to what it had been trading at, let's say 6 months ago.
It's a lot more.
It's still, there's a big chunk of volume ever since, where is that point? From right about here, volume has been steadily
increasing.
higher
It has been. Yep. And I'm with you on that.
Traded most of that whole 4 months before that. So, yes, volume is drying up a little bit, but it's still a lot heavier than it has been.
I got you. Okay.
So,
all right. Before we move over to Jerry, thank you for those picks, Patrick. Say that 10 times fast. Thank you for those picks, Patrick. Before we get into Jerry, real quick, if you like what you've seen so far, and we've been trying to pay attention to your questions, definitely, just as long as nobody goes off the freaking rails. Man, I don't know. That's been happening lately, but as long as nobody goes off the rails, I'll answer any questions that are out there. If you like the content that we've got going on, hit the like button. Let us know you like it. I love the discussion, and I love that we can respectfully talk to each other in regards to these picks. And that's important, because it's not what Jerry thinks or what Patrick thinks or even what I think, even though it really is about what I think. But other than that, we have the discussion on the stocks. So keep asking the questions. We'll keep doing the best that we can to answer them. Jerry, with that.
Yes.
Or which one of you are the more important one? I haven't. Which one of you?
That would be Patrick.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
That would be
what?
Patrick.
I love that, bro. That was unexpected. That was really unexpected, and I take off my hat to you for that. So with that, Jerry, take it away, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. My name is Jerry D'Ambrosio. I'm the manager of educational content with VectorVest. Help teach a lot of our swing trading courses. I'm the lead coach for our swing trading coaching group. So just have my hands in a lot of different areas in terms of swing trading content within the VectorVest company. So 3 picks that I chose today: Costco, Shoe Carnival, Target. I kind of went very similar route to Glenn. I see the images for this hot stock panel, and there was a lot of hearts everywhere, and it is February. So the first thing I thought of was Valentine's Day, being the loving husband that I am. And the first stock that I thought of was Amazon, because Amazon comes to my house every single day. But
don't
I
know
like
it,
Amazon.
Bro.
What's that?
Don't I know it?
Yeah. Every day, new package. You think I'd own a sizable stake in the company, but I don't. But I thought of some other different retail companies that might fit the hot stocks that we love for the month of February theme. So I went with Costco, Shoe Carnival, and Target. These are 3 kind of leaders in the retail sector. And that's how I went about it. There isn't a search that I used for this. These are just cherry picks, taking the top-down approach of looking at the hot sectors or just sectors in general, the best industries and stocks within those sectors. So I kind of stuck with the retail sector this time around. Costco, just to go through the analysis quick, we've already gone through really what the indicators mean, but Costco is a little overvalued, quite a bit overvalued. Trading at 521, we think it's worth 256. So that is what we feel the company is currently worth today. It does have pretty, decent upside potential. RV is at 1.05, 1.42 relative safety. So a very safe investment, not really in a strong uptrend or downtrend. RT is at 1.04. It's got a VST above 1, good CI, good earnings per share, good earnings growth. So good company. We all know that. It's just a matter of identifying a good buying point. Is it a good buy now? And we'll look at the chart to kind of determine that. Shoe Carnival is next. It's undervalued, great upside potential, relatively safe investment. It's falling in price. It is in a downtrend, right, with a 0.63 RT. It's got a sell rating. It's got a good CI rating at 1.45, good earnings growth at 33%. So it's a good company, good fundamentals. It's falling in price right now. When is a good time to buy? We'll look at the chart. So this is another bottom fishing play for someone who was asking about that. It's got a sell rating. Why would we buy it? There are certain things that we can look at to help us determine whether we should buy sell rated stocks or not. And then Target, finally, it's also undervalued. Good fundamentals, RVRS above 1. Also in a downtrend, it's got a hold rating, good earnings and earnings growth. So fundamentally, nothing wrong with these companies, but we just got to take a look at the charts to see if they are at buy points or not. So I'll look at the charts real quick. There we go. There's Costco. I'll put a 1-year chart on. And what Costco, so Costco is kind of the only one right now that I feel is a good buying opportunity. It is rising currently, right? So it is retracing from this support level. It's hard to read what price that is, but whatever price that is, the stock has just recently retraced from it. The daily MACD has turned bullish as well. So this is a trend change indicator. The trend has changed. So now, technically speaking, when it comes to MACD, Costco is in an uptrend. It's also got a good RT, just fair RT of 1.04, but the RT has recently crossed from below 1 to above 1, another bullish indication. Stochastics is also rising. Okay, stochastics is bullish and also rising, %K above %D. So what do all these things add up to, right? A bullish stochastics, a bullish RT crossover, a bullish MACD crossover, a retracement from support with follow through. All those things lead to maybe a good buying opportunity. Again, not quite in a strong enough uptrend to get a buy rating yet. We're still in the early stages of that. But look, if the market moves higher tomorrow and price continues to rise above today's high, if that happens tomorrow, there's your buy point. Okay, so real simple here. It's in a great industry. You have a lot of bullish situations here, bullish crossovers with some really effective technical indicators. So good buying opportunity currently, right now, if the market continues to rise. Glenn?
I like all of the reversal stuff about it. And even prior to all of that, look at the bottom left, top right. Dang it, I turned off my phone because I'm an idiot. There we go. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Anyway, I like the move of the stock just in general over the last year. I see the pullback. It now bounces. I love that. Even the stop prices on there. And even on the pullback, the stock never got a sell recommendation.
Yep.
So that's good. Costco, man. I don't use Costco. What do I use? I use BJ's. So, screw Costco. All right, so
I'm in the
it
same
looks
boat,
like
Glenn.
a good stock. That's so messed up, but looks like a good play. Patrick?
I mean, Jerry, like you were saying earlier, you're finding these kind of stocks going off the hearts. Nothing says, Happy Valentine's Day
Then a bag of
than a
groceries,
mega-sized
right?
pack of toilet paper and diapers.
Towels. That's right. Absolutely.
Hey, look, they sell more than food and toiletries. They sell more than that. They sell jewelry, don't they?
They actually do. I think all of the
They
box
do. Oh,
stores
yeah, they
sell
do.
jewelry too.
Electronics, they sell a lot of stuff.
They do.
That my wife would love.
Yeah, of course, and mine too. MG.
So, I mean, yeah, from a wholesaler, Costco is definitely the leader of that space. Unpopular opinion, I personally don't like Costco all that much. I get a lot of flack for it around town because everybody talks about the Costco and, going there to do all their shopping and everything. My opinion, it's overrated. But you can't really deny their stock price.
BJ's,
And what
baby.
their stock is
BJ's.
doing. So, yeah, I mean, I like the setup, nice bounce off support, seeing a little bit of an uptick in volume over the last few days. Yeah, I mean, can't really argue against anything that you see here with this one.
Yeah, it's a good setup. And also, I forgot to mention that this pullback here, this is called the sweet spot. So the sweet spot is after kind of the uptrend ends, pullbacks to recent highs present a really nice buying opportunity. So this is kind of the sweet spot trade where your pullback stopped at this recent high back here, kind of establishing a level of support and a spring off of it. So I think it's a really good setup.
I love that you are turning into a mini David Paul. You are so
I
turning
learned
into
from the
a
best,
mini
man.
David
He's
Paul.
awesome.
Yes, he is. And as soon as you said that, I was like, that's David Paul. And the springboard, wow, that's David Paul.
All right, let me move on to the next one. So the shoe carnival. Glenn hates this one. But
Wow.
it's another one where I feel that it's setting up nicely for a potential buy. It's not there right now. Costco, I think, was a good buying opportunity. It's retracing from support nicely. It's a really good play now. This has some work to do. So let me talk about what I kind of see here. Good earnings per share, bottom left to upper right. Let me clean up the chart. Take off the stop price. Take off MACD for now. That's earnings per share, right? Yeah. So that's EPS. Good. I'll take it off. Just want to show you guys good earnings per share. Right here is a clear level of support, isn't it? I mean, I could put support and resistance on, and we find it. We find this level of support here, and I can't see the price, but look at all the circles.
31.38.
Yeah, look at all those circles there, guys, right? Those are touches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then your 7th here. So I like how we're right above support, and support is holding. It's a down day today, I know, but we're still right at this support level. What I'm also looking at is, let me take off support and resistance. So my buy point would be a clear retracement now off of that support level. Okay. I'm also seeing we're seeing a downtrend, aren't we? Right. So we're looking at the series here of lower highs, and I'm going to draw a trend line. When you draw trend lines, by the way, guys, and you're drawing, let's say, a downtrend line, you don't start at the actual high. Start at the next lower swing high. So I would start my trend line. I draw my trend line from right here. And what I would do is I'd try to connect as many data points as I can, connecting what's called reaction highs. So, a high in which you saw a pullback, and that you can now draw that trend line connecting those highs. So we are right at support. We are in a downtrend. So a couple of buy points for me here would be either a clear break on high volume above this downtrend line, which would really also coincide with a support retracement as well. So this is a watch list type stock. Okay, this is a stock that is at a support level, just a little off of it actually, a very significant one with, what did we say, 6 or 7 touches, right? But you're also in this downtrend. It's almost like a descending triangle pattern as well. So I'm looking for a retracement off of support. I'm looking for a break above this downtrend line, which I've drawn to connect lower highs. Okay, if the trend is broken on high volume, there's your entry. So this is a watch list stock for me. The MACD is still negative, but trending in the right direction. And I also see, real quick, a slight bullish divergence between price and the MACD. So if I just draw a freehand line here, connecting these lower lows, kind of see a slight little bullish divergence here with the MACD. Very slight, very subtle, but it does suggest that the downtrend is weakening. So that's what I would look at really for this one in terms of a buy opportunity. I like the fact that it's at support and support is holding. Now, if it breaks down through support and the market continues to fall, I also think it's a good short play. So you can kind of go both ways with this one, given that it's right at support. A breakdown below support would be bearish. If the market keeps falling, a good short play. If the market rises, a breakout off of support above that trend line would be a good play as well.
All right. Since you put me
Lot
out
to unpack there.
Since you put me out there, yes, I don't like this stock. All right. I don't. You look at it on a 1-year graph, it's choppy. This is, for the lack of a better word, this is strictly a technical stock. The stock doesn't have a lot of legs to upside, and when it does, it just almost gives it all back. All right. Everything I look about it, from the high to where it is, trending lower. Looking at RT, trending lower. Looking at MACD, trending lower. Now, I did say to Jerry, I said, I don't like it, but I'll listen to what you got to say. From a technical perspective, It's at a solid level of support. That level of support is one of the most solid lines that I've seen on any stock at any given time with all of those touches. That's a lot of touches. So that's a super solid line of support, and it's there again. Every time it's gotten there, though, it's run and given it all back. It's run and it's given it all back. So for me, this is definitely more of a technical play. I did hear you out, Jerry. And I think that it's more of a technical play than anything that I would love.
Yeah, I do think it needs time for sure.
Okay.
It needs time. It's not setting up now. If those things happen, then you can see a nice breakout. You got this resistance level as well. So you're saying that, and I see it, retracement off of support, and it failed a number of times during this channel.
Yeah.
So yeah, if a breakout above there I think is your upside. So whatever that line is there, which is again not too far away from price, but that would be a good entry as well.
So that's my insight on it, man.
I'm gonna have to go with Glenn on this one.
Oh my gosh! You need to write that down.
He listened to you, but he still thinks it's a trash play. I'm not really a fan of what I see. If anything, I see more of just a sideways move because you have really strong support resistance zones. This looks to me more like a good options play for a channeling stock until we see a breakout one way or the other. Until you put this up here, Jerry, I didn't even know Shoe Carnival was still around to this day. And I mean, yeah, so I would need to see it break resistance or break down from support.
Yep.
To make a directional play on it. For this time, it's back down in that channel. I'd be willing to bet it stays in that channel for a while. I'd take it more as a channeling play, like a Condor, one of those types of trades. And just, put it on the high and the low right there and play it that way.
But I did listen to you, bro. I told you I would. I did listen.
Wow, you're appreciate it. If you don't like this one, you're gonna hate the next one. So I'm looking forward to showing you.
Bring it on. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Oh, okay. So guys, a lot of what I'm going through here are chart patterns, right? I'm looking at, I mentioned a descending triangle, a support retracement. What I'm going to show you guys here is a pattern that's forming called a falling wedge, which is potentially bullish. I'll talk about the buy points here, but I want to invite you guys to a free webinar that I'm doing next week. If Joey can pull up. Joey's going to share the link with you guys. It's a free webinar I'm doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, where I talk about different patterns, breakout patterns, similar to what I'm talking about here today. Specifically, what I'm going to go through next week are flags and triangles, different kind of triangles. So please join me. It's a free webinar. Joey's going to share the link with you to get you to this page. There it is. And just pick the date and the time that best suits you guys. And again, it's a free webinar. Just wanted to invite you guys to it because again, it's a lot of what I'm kind of going through here.
Y'all need to show up. That's going to be a great webcast. Folks.
It's a really good webcast. Like a couple of different breakout patterns. I love flags. I love triangles. So I'm going to go through how to trade those. So here, target, again, it's another one that's in a pretty severe downtrend here. The RT is low. I'm going to take off RT for a second, and I'm going to kind of show you guys what I'm looking at. So yes, we're in a downtrend. If I were to draw a line, well, first off, it's called a falling wedge, and it has potential bullish kind of implications. First, what you need is the prior trend to be an uptrend. Okay. Ideally, the falling wedge will form after, after the extended downtrend and new lows are made. So usually kind of plays itself out in about 3 to 6 months. So what we're looking at first is kind of an upper resistance line or a downtrend line that I can clearly draw, connecting lower highs here that have taken place off of the all-time high, right? Off of the most recent high. Clearly, we're in a downtrend, and you can see I've drawn that downtrend line connecting those lower highs. We are also seeing lower lows, aren't we? So if I were to connect the lows, the combination of those two lines creates what's called a falling triangle or a falling wedge. The lows are new lows, but they're shallower lows. They become more shallow as the cone is kind of created here in this wedge pattern. That does suggest that the downside momentum is dissipating. Okay, so you draw these lines here, lower support line, upper resistance line. You're seeing the contraction in price, and the lines kind of converge towards each other, creating that cone. Okay, the breakout is above the upper trend line. This is not a trade that should be placed today. It's in fact actually retracing from that upper trend line and retesting the lower trend line currently, isn't it? So you might see a complete retest of that lower trend line. If you do, it's still not tradable. It's only tradable on a breakout above this resistance level on high volume. Okay, so when you put volume on, it kind of puts the pattern in better perspective, in that you're seeing, when you draw those lines, you're seeing a wedge pattern forming, aren't you? These are not horizontal lines that are perpendicular to each other, right? Creating clear support and resistance. These are contracting lines that are eventually going to kind of experience a breaking point. Either the stock is going to continue to fall and break down through this lower trend line, or slow down the rate, right, and then break out above the upper trend line. So that is your buy point here. Just simple chart pattern called a falling wedge. The breakout is above the resistance level. So another watch list stock, not a stock that I would go out and trade today.
Target is a stock that's not going away anywhere either. It's one of the major stores that are out there. Your Targets, your Walmarts, they're not going anywhere. Lord
Good
knows.
earnings as well. So if you just put earnings on just to see if you
Yeah,
got that fundamentals behind it.
That's big too. The company is making money. I don't know what's making it look like this unless it's cyclical. Because, well, Christmas was just here, and it went down during the Christmas holiday. Yes, I am reading that right?
Well, the market high was November 9th. What date is that?
I can't tell. I can't read none of this.
November 12th. November
12th.
right there. So the
somewhere
market
up in that time.
The market's crushing the stock.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I'll take it from that perspective. But the company is making money, and I think that the potential is there. Put RV on there.
RV's good.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. You don't need to. I'm sure it is.
151.
Yeah. So that's an interesting stock that I don't have a definitive answer as to why it shouldn't be doing better. I like this. I like the stock. I like the stock because it's Target. You know what I'm saying? I like the stock because it's Target, but it's tough. It's just going low, and it's tough. I like, again, the analysis that you set up from a technical perspective. I think that's awesome. It's just tough right now watching the stock go down.
I mean, so I'm going to kind of piggyback off of Glenn. Whether you were done or not, Glenn, I'm just going to kind of butt in here.
All right, then. Thank you.
But I mean, the thing about with Target, we talk about it here at VectorVest all the time. Even the best stocks go down in a down market. Yeah. Well, what has the market done? It's gone down. What has changed with Target that, now compared to 6 months ago? And the answer is nothing. The company is still a great company. Tons of people are always going in and out of them. They're major retail, if you will. And yeah, so the story hasn't changed with Target. This just seems like a good buying opportunity. Same as like we saw with, Generac, a few of the other ones that we looked at, Microsoft. Use this opportunity to buy some really fundamentally sound companies for, a discount right now. Utilizing the VectorVest make sure Target, you get in at the right time.
I think the Generacs and the Targets and even the Costcos.
Yeah,
I'll go back to the list. Even the Costcos. I think that the fundamentals behind it was Costco. Look at that. Both of them, all of those stocks. And no matter what I think about Shoe Carnival, Jerry, the analysis is there. The stock it's one of the only ones in the list that's undervalued, that's got good upside, that is safe. It's the only thing that's really hurting it right now is that it's got a relative timing below 1.
Hey, Jerry.
Huh?
Yeah.
If Shoe Carnival breaks that support floor that we've been talking about, I say
Yeah.
we take Jerry there and put him in one of those money machines that, has the money flying all around.
Wow. I don't know how we got to that.
I don't.
Because you're
That's the only thing I remember from Shoe Carnival as a kid.
Wow.
I've never been in a
Shoe
sheltered
life, bro. A sheltered life. Jerry.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't agree with 2 of your picks today, I think you did an outstanding job talking about them.
Thank you.
Patrick, even though I didn't like your Generac to a certain degree. I loved what you brought to the table. I love what all of us brought to the table. And this was one of the first hot stock panels that we had this deep a discussion on all of the stocks, which was really, really good. You guys were in for a treat with the discussion that we got into because, without trying to say, hey, that looks good. We actually held each other accountable today, which was really, really good. And I love that these 2 people that you're looking at besides me are very aggressive in their trading. I'm not nearly as aggressive as either one of them, but I love what they brought to the table. And I think that whether I liked them or not, I think that they did an outstanding job in explaining what they saw to relay that information over to you. Of course, my stocks were the best. Well, it's because that's just me. But I love the conversation that we had today. Didn't Glenn buy his Crocs at Shoe? Hell no. I can't stand Crocs. It is a great stock, but I will never own a pair of Crocs. It just won't happen. Just won't happen.
More of a Skechers with the
I am a Skechers guy. Yes, I am.
Bit.
I'm a Skechers guy. So no. What did you say, Joey? I don't need the Velcro. So Jerry D'Ambrosio, Patrick France. This was a nice hot stock panel with a lot of great discussion and differences on the opinions of the stock, but I think you guys brought a lot to the table. So thank you very much for being here today. Jerry, and for everybody, put that link back in the chat real quick, Joey. Join Jerry. The way Jerry explains stocks is an amazing way, and I've watched him grow in this space.
Physically?
To do what he does. You need to go to his free webcast next week. Pick one of the days. Pick one of the days to go. It's going to be well worth it, and it's free. And Patrick and I sit right side by side in the office next to each other. Patrick and I may not always agree on stocks, but I love what he also brings to the table and how he explains what he explains. So today was a good spirited panel. You guys did well. Thank you for being here as my guests. You know me, I love doing this stuff. I love hosting these panels, and we have one every month. If you're still brand new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I don't know how many likes we have, but folks, this was a jewel today. This was definitely a jewel. It deserves the likes. It really, really does. Hit the like button if you have it. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon. All of that stuff. Thank you guys again for being here. Look forward to next month. I don't know what we're doing next month, and I don't know who's where and all that stuff. So, we'll go from there. But yeah, thank you guys. And I guess I'm going to sign off for all of us, unless they all want to sign off on your own. I don't care.
Take care, everybody.
Have
a great rest of your week.
There you go. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until next time, folks, see ya.